Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Vinky here today and I'm so glad to be back. Yes, so I ended up getting bronchitis for like 2 weeks. Luckily I filmed in advance, but that's why my scheduling has been a little bit off lately. So yes, if you're new here, you don't want to hear that. So here we go, let's get into it. I'm ready, my senses are back. So this is the last scent of Snif, the secret menu. Secret menu. Yes, that's right. So there is only one scent left, and that is the naughty Nonna. So if you don't know what that is, that's a naughty grandmother. I don't know why she's naughty, but you know, robbing banks. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know how they mean it, but let's look at the site to get maybe a little bit better understanding. So it is basically serving up freshly baked fruit cake with rich spice notes and extra splash of booze. So I guess that's what makes, I don't know, Nana drinking? I've known a lot of Nanas that drink. I don't know if that made him naughty. He was just called coping. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, this is kind of what they're going for with it. I don't really, you know, she's eating dessert and drinking some liquor. I mean, I've been known to do that. So one day I guess I'll be a naughty Nonna. So there you go. That is the least thing to call somebody naughty over. Let me tell you, I live in a major city. So this is the last fragrance of the group. And so I think it's going to be more of a dessert vibe, it looks like. Okay. So definitely another gourmand. So not your usual fruit cake. I am not a fan. I remember as a kid, I did not have a lot of money and my dad was given a fruit cake. And even though we were a really poor family, none of us wanted it. You know, as kids who don't have a lot, especially sweets and stuff, it was like, oh, I took one bite and went, nope. It's just, you know, it's bad. But it's not your usual fruit cake, but Nonna's naughty fruit cake. So it's $65 and they're saying due to high demand, yeah, apparently it's pretty popular. So an ode to the passed around and passed down, the booze soaked, sugared and spiced. It's so good you'll gift it thrice. There you go, a little bit of poetry for you. So it smells like candied ginger, love, bits of orange, prune, rum, walnut, vanilla glaze. Now, I don't want to yuck your yum. You're like, I love all this. But, you know, for me, I really don't care for oranges. It's so strange. I like orange blossoms, but not oranges. Prune, that makes me think of older people as well. Not saying I know a lot of older people. They don't need them, but sometimes you need a little help. But that's what I think of. I just was always told that as a kid. So anyway, this is really, see what happens when you've been sick a couple weeks? This is what happens. So walnut. And I don't mind walnuts, but you know, and rum either. If I'm going to drink, rum is at the bottom of the list. And of all the nuts available in the kingdom of, you know, nuts, this is so wrong. Walnuts are probably some of my least favorite. And the reason is that they're very chalky. I prefer almonds and hazelnuts, but you know, throw in a macadamia nut, I'll love that too. Give me an almond, love that too. This is off the rails. It's so off the rails, which is on brand for what happened the last couple of weeks. It's been a long last couple of weeks. But here we go. At least I can smell again. I can eat again. I can breathe again. So get a little bit of sweetness out of it. I don't know why that's kind of my thing, but I like to check it out that way. But that one missed. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. So immediately, I'm getting that cinnamon rum. Immediately, I'm just swarmed with that cinnamon rum scent. Cinnamon hit first, and now that booziness is definitely coming out. So if you don't like boozy fragrances, and some people don't. Some people don't want to smell like they've walked into, you know, a liquor store. It's not like that though. So I do want to point that out. There's a vanilla-ness to it. It does indeed smell like a dessert. To me, it doesn't smell like a fruit cake, but possibly after my experience at 9 years old, I kind of just went, I'm done. I retired with fruit cakes, so I don't necessarily, I'm not a connoisseur. I don't really know what they smell like anymore or taste like anymore, but there's a nice sweetness to this. So it's definitely like a vanilla rum with cinnamon. Cinnamon just hanging in the air, which who doesn't love cinnamon? Actually, I know people who don't, but you know, a lot of people do, including myself. That's lovely. It actually is lovely. It's just this beautiful, warm hug of a scent. Definitely a gourmand. So if you don't like sweet gourmands, you're probably not going to care for this one, because that's what this is. But you kind of know it going into it, what this is. And it's just lovely. It's never too heavy, but I don't really find any of these scents too heavy, to be fair. I don't find them to be heavy. I find them to be very light. Like I've said, these aren't like regular perfumes. These are more of like body spray strength. So it's very light. And it's very gourmand. That beautiful rum, vanilla, cinnamon. It's pretty much what it is. It's not really moving beyond that much. I'm not really getting the orange as much though. I lied. If I'm looking for it, yes. But again, it's more of a kind of an afterthought. Not that it was just, let's just throw this in. It's more of just a hint of it if you're looking for it. It's not the main player. Again, it's that vanilla, rum, and cinnamon. And then a little bit of that orange coming through. Yeah, I'm not really getting the prune, but I don't really know what a prune smells like. It's not something that, you know, I'm gobbling up on the weekend. It's just not, you know, it's not in my palate. It's just not something that I personally go for. But hey, you definitely get that fruitiness. You get, yeah, it's that fruitiness with that vanilla and rum and cinnamon. If this is, I imagine this is what a fruitcake smells like. Like I said, it's been a long while. And my 9-year-old self just was like, no. And everybody's like, well, God, kids, it's cake. And we're all like, but I know many people don't care for it. It's kind of a joke here, you know, in the U.S., because I know I have people who are international fans. I don't know if it's like that in other countries, but it's kind of a joke that you pass around the same fruitcake. So the one that you keep going and giving to other people in the family is probably the same one from 20 years ago. That's kind of the joke here in the U.S., especially at the holidays. Give them a fruitcake. It'll last them a lifetime. And their relatives and ancestors from decades on. So yes, but it's very nice. It's very nice. I can see why people like this one, but let's try it here on the clothing. Ooh, so interesting on the clothing. On the clothing, I'm getting that spicy ginger and orange. And I don't like orange normally, but this. It is that spicy orange and ginger with rum coming through. But yet sweeter on my arm. Oh, that's interesting. So, of course, we know chemistry is going to always play a big part of scents. But it's so interesting how different it is here and here. And this is what I like about Snif. I will say this. What's interesting about Snif is that it'll smell very differently on your chemistry and very differently on the clothing. At least that's what I'm finding. But then when you move together, like, here we go. The two smells mix together to create this beautiful concoction. So I've never really had one. Well, Sweet Tooth was a little bit more difficult for me just because the musk came through on my skin, because it always does. So it was too much, but that's a me problem. With most of them, though, it just mixes so well between your chemistry and what's on the clothing that it just creates this, you never know when you turn. It's going to be this little bite of something interesting. And I do like that about Snif. That doesn't necessarily always happen with every other scent I've tried. So Snif does do that really well, that everything really combines well, even if you have them on two separate areas that may be different with your chemistry versus cloth. So you know what I mean? So that's what's really nice about this. But this probably is not going to morph much. Snif doesn't tend to morph much, and that's okay. I don't get upset about it. So I don't do the hour check-in because there's really no need to. So what we do is we ride it out until the end and then check in where it really needs to be boosted up again. And I do want to say that's a beautiful thing. That's not a bad thing. Some people may see it as, you don't need that. Not everything has to be complex or complex or have the complexity or have somebody scratching their head like Olm from Zoologist. It's not. These aren't art pieces. These are fun pieces. They're celebratory yay pieces. That's how I see this line. It's a very happy line. Yeah, so we all need a little bit more happiness. So there you go. So we're going to check back in 3-4 hours. That's when these tend to kind of peter off a bit. But we'll see with this one. Okay, so it has been about 3 hours, and this one's pretty light. So again, and I've said this throughout, I feel like these are very gentle scents. These are not overpowering. These are not grrr type scents. They're very light. I think probably the strongest was Dead Dinosaur from my recollection. You know, that tends to be a little bit more meatier than the rest of these, and Naughty Nonna is, you know, no exception. It's very gentle. So it's been about 3.5 hours, to be fair. So when I move, I can still smell it kind of here and there, but at this stage I would give it a little bit of a boost. So I think around the 3 to 4 hour mark, you may want to do that. Unless you like very light scents, then you'll be happy with it, because you do get whiffs of it here and there, but it definitely isn't where it once was, and that's okay. I mean, some people don't want to be blasted out of the water and they want gentle scents. So let's see where it's at. Okay, so on my skin, it's very light. It's like a vanilla cinnamon. That's what I'm getting. It's very vanilla cinnamon, and it's very light. Not really getting a lot of it on the skin any longer. It's very much a skin scent. Now let's try it here on the clothing. Okay, definitely hard to pick up. I'm definitely getting that vanilla rum with cinnamon and orange. So it's a vanilla rum. Vanilla rum, always that cinnamon hovering above, and then a little bit of that orange, a little bit of that orange to brighten it up a bit. So it doesn't really morph much from where it initially was once it's settled. And I find that to be the case with most of the Secret line from Snif. So there you go, which, like I said, could be a good thing, or some people are like, I want it to morph. But the thing is, if you really like what it is after, 10-15 minutes, it's going to continue to be that. And so some people really love that. It is what it is. There's no real guesswork once it's there. So very lovely, very beautiful gourmand, a very light, delicate, spicy gourmand. So it's vanilla, rum, and like cinnamon with a little bit of that orange. And the spicy ginger I don't get as much anymore, unfortunately, because I really love that. But that's kind of dissipated a bit, and it's really lovely. It's just very, very light. So yes. So what do I think of this one? I do like it. I don't know if it is a fruitcake, because again, I don't really recall what that smells like, and it's not something I go hunting for. But if I were going to give this one a score, I think I love gourmands, and I love ginger, and I love cinnamon. I think I would definitely give this one a 7.5. I would. I think it's very nice. I think it's a great gourmand. I wish personally, now when I give these scores, this is as far as how I feel about it personally on my chemistry. Oh, and for my collection. And I think with this one, I love gourmands. I love a good gourmand. I love cinnamon. I love vanilla, and I love that. I just personally, for me, wish it had a little bit more oomph to it, a little bit more strength and longevity, just a little bit. But that's me, and that's not for everyone. So again, that's why I scored it the way I did. You may score it higher, but it's a lovely scent. I really do like this one. So yes, that basically ends the secret menu for Snif. Now eventually I'm going to try the whole line, and then what I will do from there is rate all the scents from the main line. There are some that are like limited edition. I probably won't put that. I would probably buy them, and if they're available at the time, then rank them. for sure. But yeah, it's just I don't really want to rank it until I've done them all. And I think there's about 10 more, so it's not, that crazy. So I won't be doing that next just because I want to do a little bit more international flavor. We want to invite everyone. So next series is going to be starting here soon, and we'll be doing more of Spot the Dupe as well. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm going between Aesop, or Aesop as they call it, and room 1015. Those are available everywhere around the globe. So I'm going back and forth. But we'll be seeing both of them here soon before we go into the next big collection. So yes. So with that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.